Hi everyone, my name is Mervel. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell for more videos like this. Without further ado, let's jump straight to today's video. But before that, let's go. I am almost here, the location where I'm going to be shooting this video, because sometimes I just want an area where it's very peaceful and quiet, so I won't be bothered by whether either neighbor or whatever. I understand this is a public place. It's like a little park that we have here in my little town where I live at, but for the most part it's quiet. People mind their business, because like when you record just YouTube videos, sometimes it could get a little awkward, you know what I'm saying? So certain people look at you in a certain way, but when they see a camera in front of you, they may get an idea, but it still feels a little uncomfortable at times. You see what I'm saying? But anyway, so let's get into this video, and yeah, let's talk about it. It's a little bit cloudy today. I'm not sure if it's going to rain later on, because I didn't even care to check the weather channel. So, and I'm not going to check it now either, right? But what I do know though, it was raining a little earlier. When I woke up and looked out my window, it was kind of pouring down rain, and then like the sky looked very very cloudy. I was just like, I'm not so sure, but I still wanted to film this video, so I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna just get out there. By the time I was ready to step out of the bed, it had stopped raining, but you guys can see the weather isn't the most pleasant, because we're transitioning from summer to fall, so these kind of weather are expected more often. So it's really nothing that bothers me or anything like that, but I'm just very happy to be here. So with that being said, let's get into the video. You guys, you know that you clicked on this video because you are curious to hear what I got to say about the pros and cons of working 9 to 5 in the United States of America, and why I think us as Africans or African diasporans to go back to the continent of Africa to start businesses and become financially independent. I am going to go a little more in depth in this topic later on in this video, but let's get started with why I believe um, what the benefits of working 9 to 5 are, and the disadvantages of doing so. And then that's going to lead to me giving you my opinion as why I believe owning your own business is way more important than working 9 to 5. All right. But before I even get into the video, let me just make this clear. I'm not expecting everybody to follow the same path, because I get it. Not everybody is business oriented. Not everybody has the business mindset. But this is going to help us, right? Figure out what we really need in life and what we really want as Africans, especially those of us living abroad. Because once you have left the continent, you go to another country, you get to see the world differently. The world is not going to be the same as you saw it before you left the continent. And now you're abroad, you see the world totally differently, right? Maybe while you were back there, you never thought 1 second you will ever own a business, ever. You know what I'm saying? But then later on, when you go back, you go abroad and you learn a lot more. Then you start to realize how important it will be to own a business, because of the issues that we all encounter at work. because every job comes with the stress and and everything else. But nobody wants to be stressed out all the time. But which, in my opinion, seems to this what most of our 9 to 5 jobs seem to give us. All right, so let's get into the video real quick. All right, guys, I am very appreciative. I mean, after spending 13 years after spending 13 years in the United States of America, I have learned so many things working 9 to 5. And one of them is that when you have a job, you have easy access to health insurance. You get that health insurance card. You go to doctor's visits. You There's a copay fee, which is really nothing but a fraction of what your healthcare company will actually pay for all of the medical services and everything like that. That's a great thing, right? Because when you are sick and you go to the hospital without health insurance, your bill will be much higher than someone who's insured. But also understand that the reason why most people are conditioned to have health insurance is also due to the fact that people don't make healthy choices when it comes down to food that we consume in this country. Most of Americans consume processed food. You know why? Because they have studied human psychology, because how industrialized the United States of America is. Most people are tired from work. They don't even have time to like spend additional half hour or an hour in the kitchen cooking their own meal. So therefore, they want to make your life even way easier by making all of this processed food available in bunch of grocery stores in our neighborhoods, right? So as soon as you get off work, you know you're hungry, you want something to eat, but you know for sure for a fact that you're not gonna have time to spend in the kitchen. You stop by the grocery store, buy the frozen food or the processed food, take it home, microwave it, it's ready to go, right? But we don't take account into what those unhealthy choices we make can do to our body in the long run. But because we have health insurance, we tend to minimize these problems. And then eventually it catch up to us. A lot of people here in this country, once they hit age 50, they start experiencing a lot of health problems. As any other human beings around the world, we all get sick, but there are also some questions that we need to be able to add to answer, right? For instance, why is it that in Japan people tend to live a lot longer than any society out there? Is it because they make great healthy choose food choices throughout their livelihood, or it's just the nature of Japanese having this incredible gene that make them live longer? If you have an answer to that, please let me know in the comment section down below. But I am going to give you my own personal analysis based on my observation so far, correct? Because when you are making poor decisions, right, in food that you consume, eventually it'll catch up to you. All right. So don't ask yourself so many questions like, oh, like I work out, I do all X, Y, and Z, but for some reason my health is not getting any better. Well, it's not your fault. It's the fault. Well, it's kind of your fault because it's choices that you've made, right? But because it is also how the wage system works, because these companies got to make money. And a lot of people are lazy. That's why a lot of young Americans, they don't know how to cook, because why should they learn how to cook when they're already cooked meal available to eat at these grocery stores? It's making people even more lazier as things evolve. But that is not a good thing either, right? I went a little further in details talking about health insurance because I kind of knew where it was going to lead, but it's for us to learn from one another. If there is something else that you will need to add on this portion of the video, please feel free to let me know in the comment section down below, and we will address it. All right. So there are other benefits like disability, long or short-term disability. Speaking of long and short-term disability, you guys remember one of my last videos I shared with you when I was involved in an accident, right? And my elbow is doing great. I'm still going through physical therapy. Um, Hopefully in another month or two, I should be back on my feet. But as of now, I was able to go back to work. I'm working light duty. I'm pretty much working in the office now, so I'm not physically capable to work the streets yet. But when that time comes, I will also share that with you. So thank you for asking, and thank you if you were concerned about me. My elbow is feeling a little bit better. Certain movement that I'm demonstrating here in this video, I was unable to do when I had just, got into that accident. But I have a lot to go. The pain has decreased dramatically, but I'm gonna keep working on it until it feels a lot better. All right. So enough of that. Let's get back to the video. I talked about disability, long term and short terms. Those are great benefits that we get through our employers, right? When you work in 9 to 5, these benefits are provided to you, but they're not mandatory. They're 100% optional. You have the option to choose whether you want to pay for them or not. There isn't usually a lot of money. It costs a fraction of what you make to get these benefits. These benefits are important in the event you hurt yourself, just like I did, or you were out with friends playing basketball, football, whatever the case may be for leisure, and then you sprain your ankle or something happens to you, which is not work related, your insurance will pay for it, right? So you get hospitalized, the insurance pay for it until you go back to work. It'll suck that you're not going to be able to make exactly what you make, but it's still a great option to have in the event something like that happen. It's better than nothing, right? So that's important. You only get these benefits when you are working 9 to 5. There is just so many more that I can go into detail, but for the sake of this video, I'm trying to keep it as short as I possibly can. But now let's get into the cons, right? Working 9 to 5 is great. All the benefits that we get, Social Security, if you have pension later on when you reach retirement age, those are great. But there are also things that we need to keep in mind when working 9 to 5. When you're working for somebody, your freedom is almost restricted. Your vacation times are calculated throughout the whole year, are calculated based on how many years you've worked for that company, right? If you're just starting out, within your first year working for that company, you'll probably only have a 1 week vacation. 1 week vacation, technically, it's 7 days if you have 2 days off, but in reality, it is 5 days because most places run Monday through Friday and weekends off, right? So if you take those full 5 days, it's considered the whole week because when you off Monday through Friday, you don't work weekends anyway. So Saturday and Sunday, so that's 7 days right there, right? That will allow you to travel, do certain things, and just spend some time away from work. But we have 365 days in 1 year. Do you think 5 days after a year it is enough day vacation? Let me know in the comment section down below. I hear this a lot where especially people from Europe, Europeans think that Americans are nuts, they work too much, they deserve more time vacation, and they're right. But because this is capitalist society, these employers don't care about those. They want you to be there as much as possible for them to keep making money. But you also have your vacation time where you get to spend, with family and friends and things of that sort, right? But when your employer, your employer has when you request your vacation time, that's your right. You get them and nothing else. But there are moments when you run out of your vacation times and you go ask for unpaid leave, it may get rejected, it may get declined, and there is nothing you can do about it. And it all depends on the need of the company because you work for the company, you are contributing to the workforce. It's because of your presence there, they are expecting something out of you, and if you are unable to deliver, when there is really nothing they can do to help you out either. right? So you got to go along to play. You got to play along to go along. I don't know if I said it backward, but that's just where I was, where I was trying to communicate with you. And that being said, like I said, um, if you get hurt outside of work, some places they might let you go, depending on you know programs you have that advocate for employees. Your employer can terminate you anytime they want to. And for the most part, when you are back to work disabled, people don't look at you the same way. They look down on you. They don't pay attention because they can hire somebody else. And that's exactly what happens for the most part when you are not playing by the same rules that your employer wants you to play by. We all have moments where you wake up and you just don't feel like going to work. You call out, right? And then if you still have vacation time, to pay you for your vacation day. But that doesn't make you look good. It goes into your record. Eventually, when you find other opportunities, you want to go work for another employer, usually they will call your previous employers to get testimony whether they should hire you or not. Now imagine if you work for a company where your attendance was really not the best, they are going, well, usually in some states there is a law not to talk bad about a potential candidate looking for employment, but it's not a crime to say so either, because I know I work for a place where I learned that the boss where I worked they actually said bad things about people who had left that place because he didn't like it. He always struggle like keeping people around. Like every time somebody will get a job interview and they're trying to reach out to them, he will talk all kind of smack. It actually ended up affecting one of the guys who was here in Pennsylvania, moved to New York, and he found this job and he called where he worked there, and the boss said a bunch of crazy things about him. He it kind of delayed his hiring process. Eventually ended up getting hired, but he was speaking to with one of the people that he worked for, who happened to be one of the supervisors who actually conduct their interviews, and he actually came clean and told him what happened. So that's how I know, right? So you always have to be in your best behavior when you are working for these companies. Like, especially in today's world, you have to watch what you say around other people. People have like people have a thin skin these days that anything now it is offensive to a certain group of people. That's why you gotta watch out what you say around other coworkers, and when you're talking to your coworkers about other coworkers, you gotta pay more attention to that. That's me personally. When I go to work, I stay to myself. I don't really talk a lot with other people like that, so I'll stay out of trouble. Because for the most part, a lot of times what happens is when you're talking to your coworkers about other coworkers' behavior, they're not going to report exactly how you said things to them. They are going to add a few things here and there, right? To make it seem like you were talking smack. And then it can turn around and bite you in the butt. So you don't want those kind of things. That's why when you get it, you have a job, stay to yourself, mind your own business, and move forward with your life. That's gonna help you out big time. Because a lot of these companies, they don't owe you anything. They don't have to look out for you for like any way, shape, or form. That's why it's very important to always stay in your best behavior when you're working. So who always have to like behave their entire life? We also have our moments where we just gotta be ourselves, right? At the same time, you gotta watch out for those things. You know, when somebody's signing a paycheck, they have the right to terminate it. They will have the right to discontinue it at any moment. That's why it is very, very necessary to have a backup plan. And that's what's going to lead to the next part of this video where I wanted to talk about entrepreneurship. Guys, in case you didn't know, if you're watching me for the first time, I'm Congolese. I'm from Africa. I've been in the US for 13 years. After a while living here, I've learned a lot of things, and I decided that I wanted to start investing back in my country. Real estate, like land in general. and start businesses out there. I'm not to a level where I will claim that I made it yet, but I am still putting forth efforts. Hopefully, one day it will pay off. And I know it will because I have faith and the efforts that I'm putting in and the money that I am spending there, it's going to work out. And if it doesn't, it's okay. That's why we try until you get it right one time and you won't even have to worry about working 9 to 5 any longer. The freedom you have when you own your own business, it's nothing like what you have working for somebody. Because if I want to, if assume you have a successful business, I want a month off, travel all over the world. I can do that. But when you work 9 to 5 and you have limited vacation time, and you want to travel to 6 countries, but you only have 3 days. I mean, you only. All right, let me rephrase that. Let's just say you want to travel the world, but you only have 1 week vacation. But how can you possibly make that dream come true with that like many vacation days that you have? It's totally impossible. But as an entrepreneur who owns their own business, you have the freedom to do so. Why? Not only that you got money coming in, but also you don't have anybody telling you what you need to do with your time. Because when you are frequenting people who are on the same reality as you tend when you make those connections, you tend to socialize more with people who are business oriented, who have the mindset of doing business, and that's only going to help you in the long run to even have more time to contemplate and discuss business and come up with strategies on how to properly run a business and be way more successful. You have no idea what it means being financially independent. You may not make more money than what you're making at your job right away when you first start your business, but time will tell. For those of us that are interested in investing in the continent of Africa, we know the cost of starting business there, it's not always high depending on what you are getting into or the kind of business you're trying to run. It usually doesn't take you a big capital to start, but it is very important to consider a few things when you are considering or planning on making such a move. And that's why I always encourage people to go out there first, see it for yourself, and then come back and make the decision based on what you have observed so far. Hello. And once you have done that, then feel free to go ahead full force. You have my blessing, by the way. My goal is to encourage as many Africans in diaspora as possible to go back to the continent, start businesses, and hopefully they succeed and get out of this um, financial slavery system that we are conditioned to here in the West. After everything I've talked about, from the pros and cons of having um, a 9 to 5 job and the benefit of owning your own business, time is very precious, is very important in all of this. If you feel like the headache of owning a business is something you're willing to do, it's okay to work 9 to 5. There is nothing wrong with that. Work till you reach a certain age and you are ready to retire. You start collecting your Social Security and retirement checks. That's fine too. But if you ask me, that is not the way to go because you can get a lot more than what your employer are offering you. That's all I'm trying to say. It's starting to get a little windy out here and it just started pouring down rain. I can't no longer continue this video. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Hit the like button, subscribe. Until the next one, I'll see you guys later. Whew, it's crazy. I managed to make it back in my car. Damn, I'm about to show in a minute. It is really, really getting crazy out here. Damn. Let's get out of here and see what I'm doing. Check this out, guys. That is crazy. Wind south very, very quickly. Cold. Whew, man. Look at this. look at the sky. It's not looking good at all. It was wild rain. You know, I'm glad. I was actually getting ready to wrap up the video anyways before it started raining, so it worked out pretty perfectly. And that's one thing that I was afraid of, but it seemed like it was really no way getting away from that, right? But I do appreciate you guys tuning in, and thank you guys for your support. Make sure to turn the notification post and subscribe for more videos like this. I'll see you in the next one. Peace and love. Happy Saturday.